And the reason I have an error here, we're actually going to go ahead and look at it. Okay, so the problem is what I typed in there. So if I change that to 300, I'm still going to get that same error. And the reason for that is in order to do this, my window has to have at least an x value as big as what I'm typing in. So my x max here has to be at least 300. Whoops, and I changed the wrong thing there. That x max has to be at least 300. So now I can go ahead and regraph this and find that value, and it's actually going to show me what that is. And it's going to go a little slow, but we'll actually be able to evaluate it. Okay, so it tells me at 300 I've got a y value of 2.15. It's really small, 060. Alright, so that gives me all of my y values. Alright, so let's look at the next question that we have here. Oops. So my next question here, I want to see how high I was when I started my stopwatch. Okay, so when I started my stopwatch, that means that's a time of x equals 0. And then wants to know, was I moving up or was I moving down at that time? Okay, so we're going to look back at my graph picture here. So let's go back to my calculator. And let's see what's happening at x equals 0. Okay, so I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so let's see. When x equals 0, what does it tell me? So it tells me that my y value is 32 feet. So I'm 32 feet in the air before I even started to move. And then after that, if you look, that height decreases. So that means after 32 feet, I am going down. Okay, so what that means here is when I started my stopwatch, that told me my height, and then I was moving down as I started typing, or started timing. All right, now the next part's a little bit different. It wants to know what is t, okay, when I'm 100 feet off the ground for the second time. So this is telling me that y is equal to 100. And instead of solving this the way we did yesterday when we were evaluating it, we're actually going to look at a little calculator shortcut here. Okay, so this is a good way also to check your answers when you're solving algebraically. So I want to know when y equals 100 what I'm going to be at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to y equals, and I'm actually going to type in y equals 100. And if you look at your graph, you can see it intersects 1, 2, 3, 4, multiple places, because I'm going to be at, if I keep going up and down, I'm going to keep going past that 100-foot line. So there's the first time, there's the second time, there's the third time. So if I want to know this x value right here, what I really want to see is where do these two lines intersect. So I know how to do that. Second, trace, intersect. Okay, and I need to make sure this little cursor here is close to that second dot. So I'm going to move that with my left and right arrows. I can move it closer to that second place. And once it's close to the second one, if you guys remember from solving systems, it's enter, enter, enter. And then it tells me when x is 72.229 seconds, my y is at 100 feet, and that is the second time from looking at my picture. Alright, so the last question, it wants to know the fifth time that I am 175 feet off the ground. Okay, so I'm going to do that the same way. I'm going to change my y. My y is going to be at 175. So I'm going to look at my graph, and it's going to graph the whole thing again. And I'm going to find the fifth place. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find that fifth place. So I'm going to do second, trace, intersect, and I'm going to move that dot by pushing my left and right arrows. I'm going to move it close to that fifth intersection. It doesn't have to be right on it, it just needs to be the closest intersection to your cursor. Enter, enter, enter. And it tells me I'm at 175 feet at 201.502 seconds. All right, so those are just a few different applications of sinusoids.